it's Ron here, and today's my 8th grade DC trip, and hopefully it's gonna be fun. You know, I'm gonna do some videos, if you know what I mean. But yeah, so let's start off with what's in my bag. So, yeah. Alright, so they want us to be at the high school by 6 o'clock, so let's head there. Yeah. We're about to leave.
Sun, Mr. Golden Sun, please shine down on me. Oh, Mr. Sun, Sun, Mr. Golden Sun, hiding behind a tree. These little children are asking you, please come out so we can play with you. Oh, Mr. Sun, Sun, Mr. Golden Sun, please shine down, please shine down on, please shine down on me.
So we're in the Smithsonian National Air and Space Museum. So yeah, that's dope. Come here, Greg.
This is a vlog, I guess. It's a vlog. So,
What is it do?
Alright, so after this they want us to meet up towards the front by 2:40. So we're gonna do that. So yeah. Alright, so it says 2:40. We're supposed to be in the bus. So see you guys in the bus. We're in the bus. We're gonna hit up some monuments, you know, the dope monuments.
1945 with our participation. 2 theaters of war. There were 2 towers, one on each side. One Pacific, this side. The other's Atlantic. Who did we fight? Japan, Germany, Italy was part of the deal with Germany. So the Atlantic was Germany and Italy. The Pacific was when we were fighting Japan. Okay? Down on a wall that faces this reflecting stars, the golden stars. Each star represents 100 deaths from the United States during World War II. How many people's that? Over 400,000. Okay, during World War II. That's a lot. Okay. Anybody ever hear of Kilroy? Some of you said you did that. Kilroy. Okay, that's kind of like the old style tagging the servicemen did back in the World War II. They would tag with Kilroy. Kilroy was here. That meant that the United States servicemen were there, done in Europe. Kilroy is on here 2 different places. See if you can find it. I'll give you a hint. It's on the outside, not the inside. There are bronze flats, like statues. They've got some relief to them. Up here toward the Washington Monument. They depict different things that were going on during World War II, during and in the war, and at home. Okay, so you can take a look at those things. And charity, faith, hope, and charity. See if you can decide which nurse is which. So look at it carefully. Don't guess right away, because I hope that helicopter gets this. Everybody figure it out? Over 1,000 names on this wall. The youngest one was a 15-year-old soldier who lied to get into service. 15 years old. Okay, how many of you are 14 or going to be 15 soon? Yeah. Okay, think about that. 15 in the Vietnam War. Lied to get in the war. Okay. 8 women on the wall. One of them was Sharon Lane that I talked about a little bit earlier. Okay. 58,000 names. Now, a couple things. We need to be respectful to people here. Some people are here because they had somebody die in the war. So let's try to be respectful for other people as they come around and be respectful to the memorials. Okay, these are memorials for people who died fighting for your freedom, fighting for freedom in general. Okay, so try to keep that in mind as we go through the things we are going to see, okay? Okay, Maya Lin was a 21-year-old college student at Yale. She was from Athens, Ohio. She designed the wall while she was in college. It was called a blind contest. They just put their idea out without their name or any of their information on it. So they picked it not knowing it was a Chinese-American college student that they had selected as the winner for the wall. Okay, kind of a neat way to find out that that's how you got it. Okay? So they weren't looking for a special name. They didn't want anybody famous. They wanted the best design. Okay. We should be able to go over here to the three servicemen now. Okay, let's design to represent a Hispanic soldier, an African American, down at their fallen comrades on the wall. Okay. Maya Lin did not really like these standard bronze statues. She wanted them away from her design, so there was a little bit of a battle for this. They wanted to put the statues closer. She did not want them there. So they came upon the agreement that they would move them up here so that they're close, but not right up against her design. Okay? So as we go down and look at the wall, please remember, it's a memorial. Okay, you'll see a little sign as we go in. Be quiet and show respect as you go. I have an app. We can talk about things that are on the wall as we go down through it. It's kind of hard to describe some of the things you can't see from here. So as we walk through, if you have a question about the dots or the little triangles or a cross that's by a name, I'll tell you about it then when we can actually see it. Okay? So let's head.
My favorite.
Okay, 16th president. 36 columns representing the 36 states that existed when Lincoln died. Up around the top, there are all 50 states listed all the way around. Okay. There are two speeches on inside, one on each wall. One is his second inauguration speech. I don't know what was wrong with his first one, but they picked his second. The other is the Gettysburg Address. Okay, he's 19 feet tall, sitting in this chair. How many of you saw that Smithsonian movie where he's up wandering around? Stuff. Okay, 28 feet tall is what he would be standing up. So that was pretty true to size if he could actually get up and walk around, which he of course can. Martin Luther King Jr. gave a famous speech on these steps in 1963. What was it? I have a dream. You can find about halfway up, if you look down in the center, you're going to find a place marked that shows you where he gave that speech. Okay? From here, and up.
I get that.
Okay, just want to tell you a little bit about this. Before I start, I want to give you a quick story. My dad was a Marine during the Korean War. It was not a well-fought war. It wasn't well supplied. It wasn't well planned. Okay, it was only 38 months long, and over 38,000 people died. Vietnam, 1959 to 1975, 58,000 died. Okay, this was not a TV war. That was a TV war. Everybody had TVs. They watched it every night. Turn on the news, there it was. Mr. Cotton, is that correct? Yep.
We're on evening news.
That's all it was. Turned on evening news, and it was 25 minutes of that and then the weather. Maybe some sports. How many died that day?
How many North Vietnamese died? How many Americans died?
Yep.
They give you a body count every night.
Yep. Korean conflict, no TV. They had radios. Nothing like that happened. Okay. Quick story. My dad told me this story. He was sent from Japan on a ship. They went to Korea. They said, the next ship will have your weapons. Go to the barracks. They go to the barracks. Next day, the ship comes in, no guns, no weapons. They say, oh, go back to the barracks, I'll be in the next ship. The next ship comes, no guns. They stay overnight again. Next ship comes in, no guns. Third night, they tell them in the morning their weapons are coming in. The weapons don't show up on the last ship. They said, get back on the ship. We don't have any weapons. Go back to Japan. So they had he was a Marine. So they had a whole division of Marines waiting for weapons to go into battle, but they didn't have any guns to give them. Okay? Badly planned war. That's a true story. Okay? So we're going to go over here and look. There are 19 statues in a delta formation. Delta formation means it's like a triangle. The person at the front is the point. They're looking for trouble. Then they fan out after that. Okay? Well, so he used the memorial to kind of accentuate that. The wall has etchings taken from actual photographs that were taken during the war. Okay? The first half of it is Army, then it's Air Force, and then Navy. So quarter Air Force, quarter Navy. No Marines on that black wall. No idea why. Okay? I never told my dad that. He would be upset. So each statue is over 7 feet tall, weighs over 1,000 pounds. Okay? They're supposed to be walking through like a rice paddy. Right? They're wearing ponchos. Okay? So that's a little bit about it. Anybody have the Mountain of Despair? See the gap there? And pulled over here. Sayings from all of his famous speeches are listed on the wall all the way around.
I'm eating
my 90 seconds here. One of the first things you're going to notice is that Franklin Delano Roosevelt's over there in a wheelchair. Okay? It's because he had polio. But he hid that from the country because he didn't want them to know that he had polio. He thought maybe they'd think he was weak and couldn't leave. Okay? So he would have somebody come here, and he would grab onto somebody's arm like this, and there'd be somebody on the other side, and he had leg braces that would help him walk, and there was always somebody. So if you see him in a picture and he's walking, he's always got a hold of somebody, or he's standing at a podium, and often you see him sitting in a car waving, okay? Because they were hiding the fact that he had polio. It didn't really affect his presidency. He served 4 parts of 4 terms. 3 full terms, he died 3 months into his 4th term. Okay? This memorial is designed with 4 rooms. First room is his first term, the inauguration. Okay? He came into power during a very bad time for the country, which is why he served so many terms. The Depression and World War II. All right? So in the first one, you'll see some of his famous quotes as you go up. You'll see some right here. It gives you a little information about his term. Okay, take a look at his quotes. He had some really, really important things to say. Okay? So take a look at those. You probably have heard them before. Okay? The second room is the Great Depression. You'll see somebody leaning over a radio. Again, they didn't have TV. He used to do fireside chats where he would talk to the United States. Everybody in the nation to try to get them to feel better about things, because things were not good. A third of the people didn't have jobs. Today, if you get 8 or 9% of the people who don't have jobs, everybody's all upset. They had a full 30-some% of the people didn't have work. And a lot of people who did have jobs had really bad paying jobs. So they had food kitchens, places you could get soup and bread. You see the men lined up. They're lined up for a soup kitchen to get something to eat because they didn't have a job, didn't have a way to do it. He started some fantastic programs to build things in the country to put people back to work. And dams and buildings all over the United States. Roadways. Okay. The next one is World War II, the third room. You'll see big granite blocks like this, and they're all jumbled and chaotic. And that's to show the chaos during World War II. It was a bad time. And then the last is for his death. The last of his death, and there's a statue of Eleanor there as well. Okay? Take your time and read here. This is set up differently than any other memorial you will see because there's so much to see and read. It's not just a great big building with a statue in the middle. In his cornerstone that FDR laid in 1939. FDR is the one we just saw. He laid the cornerstone for this monument in 1939. There's a copy of the Declaration of the Independence because he was the main author of the Declaration of Independence. Okay? This once was a public beach for the city of Washington, D.C. back in the 1920s. But it was a white-only beach and they closed it down. Also, you should know, this water is brackish, which is salt water and fresh water mixed. So they were swimming in that weird kind of a mixture of water. A lot of fish, a lot of gross stuff comes up. I don't know why they would have this as a public beach, but they did back in the 1920s. Okay. Jefferson could read 6 different languages: English, French, Spanish, Latin, Greek,
English.
Italian, and Italian. Okay? Brilliant man, but he also died fairly poor. He sold his library, which was a fantastic library, to the United States to put in the Library of Congress. Okay? So he spent a little more money than he brought in. But founding father, main author of the Declaration of Independence.
Hey, we are at Iwo Jima. Look at that. Oh, that's sexy, eh? Iwo Jima. And yeah, so this is the last stop for today. We're about to hit it at the
Hospital.
hotel. Yeah.
I messed up.
See you when we're eating food.
This is America.